Lake levels continue to drop in and around the Concho Valley in spite of recent heavy rains in places. President Biden is transferring $300 billion of your wealth to students to pay off their student loans, and the Department of Public Safety has added 2 men to the most wanted list. Find out who. I'm Yantis Green. Welcome to Live. This show is brought to you by Myers Drug. Hey Dude shoes are very popular in San Angelo right now. Hey Dudes offer comfort and style all in one shoe. Myers Drug has a large selection of Hey Dudes, including the most recent arrivals. Located at the corner of Chadbourn and Beauregard in the center of historic downtown San Angelo, you can shop there Monday through Friday, 9 to 6, and Saturdays, 10 to 2. Myers Drug is more than just a pharmacy. It's San Angelo's finest gift shop, too. See more at myersdrug.com. Water levels in area lakes and reservoirs continue to drop as the drought intensifies in spite of recent rains. According to the National Weather Service, some lakes have gotten some much-needed rain over the past couple of weeks, but water levels overall have dropped in just about every lake over the last month. The exception is, of course, Lake Nasworthy, which San Angelo keeps level using water from Twin Buttes. Lakes that have received some water are in the eastern Concho Valley, including O.H. Ivy, Brady Creek, Brady Lake, and Lake Stanford. No significant rainfall is expected over the coming weeks to help lake levels. And big news, of course, out of Washington, D.C. today. President Biden announced a plan to forgive student loan debt by taking money from hardworking Americans and giving it to adults who took out the loans to begin with. According to the White House, the U.S. Department of Education will provide $20,000 to Pell Grant recipients and up to $10,000 to non-Pell Grant recipients. Individuals eligible for the government money must have an income of less than $125,000 individually or $250,000 for a household. According to Fox News, this is expected to cost the American taxpayers, that's you, $300 billion. For more on this story, go to sanangelolive.com. In other news, the Texas Department of Public Safety added 2 very dangerous men to the most wanted list. 34-year-old Eric Martinez and 54-year-old William Byrd have been wanted since late 2021. Martinez is wanted out of Dallas County on 4 counts of child sexual assault, and Byrd is wanted for a probation violation. In 2012, Byrd was convicted of indecency with a child, and in 2021 was convicted of injury to a child and failure to comply with the sex offenders registration requirements. Turning to weather, it has cooled off significantly in San Angelo following those 100-degree days. We're going from 100-degree days each day a few weeks ago to now hitting highs sitting in the lower to mid-90s on a daily basis. The degrees tonight, and then Thursday and Friday, highs will be in the lower 90s, 91 and 93 respectively. The lows on both days will be in the lower 70s. Over the weekend, it'll heat up slightly with temperatures around 94, 95 degrees both Saturday and Sunday. Lows overnight will be in the mid-70s. Starting next week, Monday, the highs will be back up into the mid-90s, around 96 degrees, with lows overnight in the 70s, 75 degrees. According to the National Weather Service, there's about a 20% chance of rain, at least in the southern parts of the Concho Valley for the next several days. That does not include the city of San Angelo and most of the Concho Valley. With those cooler temperatures comes high school football season. Here's James Bellini with sports.
Thanks, Yantis. The Winters Blizzards face a difficult district this season due to the realignment by the UIO. In district alone, Winters will face both Cisco and Hawley, who made deep playoff runs last season, with Hawley losing to Shiner at AT&T Stadium. According to Dave Campbell's football magazine, the Blizzards have a young team that only have 2 seniors, on the field, but are returning 7 starters on both sides of the ball. The offensive line will be anchored by one of those seniors in Xander Hadlock. He'll be paving the way for running back Aiden Lehman. This Friday, if you'd like to attend the Blizzards' first home game against the Cross Plains Buffaloes, Winters fans are trying to wear purple in honor of Ryan Hopkins. Hopkins was killed in a car crash earlier this month, and he was a senior on that Cross Plains team. For more on this game, along with highlights, score updates, and analysis, tune in to Cover 1, only on SanAngeloLive.com. When we come back, Matt Trammell sits down with Dr. Linda Bond with the Railroad Museum to discuss a new exhibit and production called Arthur Stilwell's Dream of Steam. But first, here's a quick message from Jim Bass Ford in San Angelo.
Buying a new car or truck is a little different right now, but at Jim Bass Ford, we make it really easy. Just visit JimBassFord.com and you can order a vehicle just the way you want it. Color, trim level, equipment, and the list goes on. And when you order a new vehicle from Jim Bass, we'll even deliver it right to your door. So go to JimBassFord.com and start your order today, or visit us in person at the corner of Houston Hart and Arden Road.
Welcome back to the show. We're here with a very special guest from the Railway Museum. It's Dr. Linda Bond. How are you doing today?
Thank you, Matt. I'm so excited you're here. I can't wait to talk to you about this.
All right, well, let's just get into it then. We have a very special event coming up in September. It's a little play.
It's a
featuring
play.
Arthur Stilwell, and really the founder and the reason why all this is here, I guess you could say.
You know, that's absolutely true. We're going to step back into history into 1910 when this building was dedicated. And when it was dedicated, it was the talk of the town. Arthur Stilwell was kind of a wheeler dealer.
Okay.
If you came in with money in your pocket, by the time you left, you'd have no money and you'd have invested in his railway.
All right.
So when people come back here, September 8th through 11th,
okay,
they're going to meet Arthur Stilwell, and they're going to be stockholders in his railway. We found the original stock certificates.
Okay.
We're going to make duplicates of them, and then people will have their own stock certificate in the Kansas City, Mexico, and Orient line.
Awesome. So, most times, you go to a play, you go and you sit out in the sands or the chairs, or and you watch and you enjoy it. But this is more of an interactive thing where
Yes.
you're in the play. I
You
mean,
are in the
you're
play.
in it. So, kind of tell me who are these people that we're going to be meeting, I guess.
Well, when you first come in, you'll be greeted by people who were important in San Angelo in the day.
Okay.
For instance, Mr. Mertz, after whom Mertzen was named.
All right.
You'll meet the people that we've done research, we know who they are, and Matt, I'm hoping you'll be one of them.
Yeah, we might break some news. You may see me there,
We'd
as
love
could
that.
be Mr. Mertz.
That would
we'll
be
see.
wonderful.
You may not
We'd
see
love
Matt Trammell, but you'll see Mr. Mertz. You'll see another Trammell, though. Let's
Trammell.
talk about that. It's an uncommon name for San Angelo, but there are certain places in West Texas where it pops up. And this is one of them.
Absolutely. Trammell was very important in the history of this railway. When Mr. Stilwell started from Kansas City, the first depot was going to be in Sweetwater.
Okay.
By the time they got to Sweetwater, he wasn't interested in that anymore, and he put the depot in San Angelo. So after some extensive research, we're going to have the state representative in San Angelo, Brown E. Lee.
Brown E. Lee, all right.
And he's going to be talking with Bert Trammell.
Bert Trammell, not Matt Trammell, Bert Trammell. Right.
Because Bert was speaking for Sweetwater.
Okay.
And he was saying, San Angelo, dadgummit, you took our depot and we want it back.
Yeah.
They tried everything to get it back, and it was heartbreaking to Sweetwater. And it may be the reason that San Angelo is now over 100,000
That's what I'm thinking,
people.
Right? Sweetwater,
Maybe
isn't exactly
4?
a small town. I mean, it's not,
It's not 100,000.
But it's definitely not 100,000. And could that be why?
Well, the railway was very, very important to all people, and especially those in Texas where things were really remote.
Yeah.
So this depot being here in San Angelo was very, very important to people, and not being in Sweetwater was important to Sweetwater.
Yeah.
There are some other things that we're going to do. We're going to meet Jenny Stilwell, and she's going to tell us some incredible stories that are actually from recorded history.
And who is Jenny related to Arthur?
Jenny is his wife.
His wife,
And
okay.
she was his faithful, loving wife.
Okay.
But she's going to tell us about the fact that Arthur Stilwell heard voices.
Ooh.
He was what you call a spiritualist, and he believed spirits were speaking to him. So he would have things happen that in the middle of the night he'd get this voice would tell him, don't do this or do that. And she's going to tell us about that, because as a businessman, he's not going to tell us himself.
Right.
So,
but hey, the little secrets of a true businessman, that might be a little
well,
catch to get you in the door.
You know, the man who wrote Sherlock Holmes was a friend of Stillwell's, and he said, don't tell them about the voices. Don't, because they're going to think you're crazy.
Right.
So we're even going to talk about that. Then we have a very special guest. You'll never believe who's coming to life for this production.
But before we let you get into it, how about we go to where it is?
I love it. Let's do that.
3, 2, 1, let's do it. All right, just like that, we are here.
We are.
Now let's spoil it. This is the spot that the famous Pancho Villa will be at here at the Railway Museum. He's in San Angelo. Pancho Villa.
He is. Due to the miracle of lots of research, Pancho Villa will be here. You know, he is a person about whom much has been written.
Okay.
The good, the bad, and I've been able to find a lot of his own words, plus things that were written about him. In 1910, he was working as head of railroad crews down in Chihuahua, and he worked with Mr. Stillwell.
Okay.
And
he was basically the one who kind of mingled the let's get to Kansas to all the way to Mexico?
No, that was all Stillwell.
Okay.
The line came down into Mexico. Porfirio Diaz was the president at the time, and he thought this was a great idea.
Okay.
By 1910, he was out of Mexico and there was a new leader in, Madero. So Pancho Villa started to work for Madero, and he did a lot of wonderful things. But by the time the revolution got there, he was the general in charge of northern Mexico, in charge of Chihuahua, and some of the things that happened there may have cost Stillwell his railway line.
And what are some of those?
Well,
things?
We actually know that he and his crews, once they sort of turned against having the Americans coming down into Mexico and the revolution had begun, then they often sabotaged train tracks.
Okay.
Stillwell said that Pancho Villa went to a silver mine that the railway line had down there and blew up the silver mine. But by 1910, that part hadn't started yet. So because we're dealing in actual history, in 1910, we're going to see glimpses of it. We're going to see because we know what really happened. But the revolution, the bloody part of the revolution hadn't started yet. So you'll see Stillwell full of big plans. And you'll see Pancho Villa thinking about it and thinking, you know, maybe something really bad's going to start to happen. So.
And that's something you can see right here at the Railway Museum. And that's just a little bit of what Pancho Villa and them are going to talk about. I mean, we can't go over the whole entire thing because there's so much history when it comes to this railway line.
Well, the exciting thing about history is because we'll step back into it and feel it.
Yeah.
We will be there. What an opportunity to meet Pancho Villa, to hear the actual words he said. I mean, 100 years he's been gone. Here we'll see it. We'll walk through it. And I love being able to do that.
There may not be video from way back then,
right?
But nowadays, I mean, you can find so much information out there on all these people and quotes
you know what's
and everything.
Funny?
It's kind of like you can almost learn who they were.
What's interesting about Pancho Villa is he became a movie star by 1911. There was a movie company that came down into Mexico and started filming him.
Really?
So because that film exists, you actually get to see film of Pancho Villa.
Can you find, like, is that
Absolutely.
film out there?
Yeah,
Wow, that's awesome.
It's video now, but
Right.
it was filmed then. So we're so excited that for one thing, how about having a 100-year-old building to create your history in?
No kidding. I mean, to be honest, I've been here a few times, but I have never been all the way down here or up in there where the trains are. I mean, you see some stuff that, I mean, I definitely wasn't expecting to see. I mean, this place is really, really cool.
It's a blessing. You know, we're blessed that 25 years ago, volunteers saved this place. It was about to be torn down, and they stepped in and said, not on our watch.
There you go.
And we are able to be inside this museum and to recreate history right here for anybody who wants to come and see it.
Perfect. So let's talk about the dates, the times,
All right.
and when everyone can see it. So
All right.
it's no, I guess not the first week of September. It's right after the first week of September. It's the 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th?
Right. Now, on each night, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, there are 2 productions.
Okay.
So one starts at 7 and goes to 9. One starts at 8 and goes to 10. So people will get to see the play here, and then they'll step out on the platform and toast with champagne with the people who were the movers and shakers in 1910. So
There
that's
you
going to be fun.
You get to meet everybody, and again, that's September 8th, 9th, 10th.
Right,
those
and on the 11th,
and on the 11th, it's just the
It's a
just the
matinee,
matinee.
yeah.
But you have 2 chances to see that on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and then the next chance on Sunday. If you really want to be treated, you should come on Saturday, because that's when I'm going to be there.
I
But
know, I'm so excited about
either
that.
way, do people purchase tickets, or how
yes,
do you
we have a website.
Okay.
It's really a good idea to just go ahead and purchase them. It's called sanangelorailway.org.
Okay.
sanangelorailway.org, and it'll take them right to their tickets. If one night's filled up or one performance, just go ahead and move it to the next one. 2 performances per night that they can get involved in. And it's all set up. It's a very safe website, and it'll take your credit card right then and there. You're paid, you're issued your tickets, they come right to your phone.
All right.
So, and
Sounds
if people,
easy enough, and you can even check it out. I'll go ahead and put it in the show notes on this, so
Good.
that way everybody can get right to it.
So, and if people don't want to go online to do that, if they come here, we actually will have printed tickets they
Awesome.
can get. And that we're only open Thursday and Friday afternoons and all day Saturday.
Okay, perfect. So go ahead and get your tickets today. Thank you so much for being on the show. This has been a truly a blessing. And this is like one of the coolest interviews I've done. I've actually learned a lot of stuff
good.
that.
Well,
I mean, we can
you
take
have
with us.
learned that you're going to meet the other Trammell.
Yeah.
So Matt
that is the
Trammell
most
meets Bert
interesting.
Trammell.
Yeah, Matt Trammell meets Bert Trammell. That's September 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th. I'll be there on the 10th, so go see Trammell meet Trammell. Thank you so much for coming, and I hope you can come on again sometime very soon.
All right. Thank you so
Perfect.
much.
All right,
That's
guys,
great.
back to you in the studio.
When it comes to unique pieces you can't find anywhere else, Kano's Diamonds and Coins is your one-stop shop. With over 24 years in the diamond and coin industry, Kano's Diamonds and Coins is West Texas's choice for diamonds, jewelry, coins, silver, and gold. Owner Bill Kano stands by his work and offers free consultations, including estate jewelry. Don't just trust anyone with your valuables. Come see the staff at Kano's at 1016 West Beauregard in San Angelo.
And we're back. Remember to follow us on Facebook and YouTube and Twitter, and check out all the news on sanangelolive.com. Thanks for making this the fastest growing news show in West Texas. And we'll be looking at all the high school football scores and stories Friday evening. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.